It's called a promo, kid.
Shut your mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead.
It was a little bit louder in my ear this time. That hurt.
No, you're fine.
Dude, what a difference a week makes, right?
Well, a lot has happened.
It's like a whole week's difference feels like a lifetime to me. Today, I guess, was opposite day at the office, too. Like, everything opposite happened. You were up and ready to go early as fuck.
Ready, let's go.
That never happens. I'm always the one up at 5 a.m. Now I'm sleeping in. You came to work dressed in blue jeans. I came in sweatpants and, like, what? we switched roles today. I don't know what happened.
It's opposite day.
You. All right. First of all, the DVD we got in today is a banger. We got The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Turn it up to 60. Speaking of 60, fucking Mick Foley wants to have a one last death match for his 60th birthday. He wants to drop 100 pounds and have one last death match.
You know, the first half of that sounds great, and then, I mean, it's his body, you know, I respect his decision, and I love Mick Foley, I'd kind of like to see it, but at the same time, I'm scared, man.
Yeah, I would be too, but I think he'd be in good hands, as the rumor mill here states. Matt Cordona, who wore a Fuck Mick Foley shirt, said, if Mick Foley is really having one last match, and it's a death match, there's only one person who should be his opponent.
Austin Theory.
Me, the death match king. Well, Mick Foley commented and said, be careful what you wish for, Matt Cordona.
Lord. So we'll be seeing Mick Foley versus Austin Theory at SummerSlam. Got it.
Dude, where is SummerSlam? Can you tell me?
I don't know.
It's
I don't
not
know if we
announced.
know yet, or
No.
I just don't remember.
I was digging into it this past weekend because I was like, well, if we're going to finish the story at SummerSlam, let's see where it's at. I'm going to start saving out. Rumored in Cleveland, but there's no actual knowledge of where it's at. Cleveland apparently is the spot.
I'll tell you when they're going to finish the story. In 2K24.
Dude. That's what... go ahead and just start with the hot topic. The Rock, instead of Cody... Rough statistics say a whopping 85 to 90% of fans are not happy about this decision here.
See, I see a lot of people say, oh, you're not going to get the Rock, the fans to turn against the Rock. And you know, you won't get them all, of course. But it does sound like there's going to be a little bit of pushback. Whether or not it actually causes anything to change remains to be seen. Apparently, Rock politicked his way into it and wants to win, too.
Strongly politicked his way into it. Did you get nervous right then when I was messing with the microphone?
Why would I do that?
Yeah. I was like, don't get nervous. It's still going to work. We're trying something new. You might hear a little hissing at the beginning of this. Don't mind it.
It's okay. It's all right. It's just the slow embrace of heat death.
Dude, here's the kicker. Sunday morning, The Rock starts posting stuff that displays he has absolutely no idea what the fuck is going on. He's in the belief that everybody loves this and him. I said, brother, are you unaware about how the people are feeling about this? The people, quote unquote.
The people.
Dude.
You people.
I was like, brother.
Brother.
Oh
Let me tell you, brother. The people aren't happy, brother.
Let's go ahead and get to this, too. As you know, Season 2, we got our Wrestling in the Middle Championship. Let's knock a good 10-minute chunk out here. Watching Roddy Strong, ROH Legend, defend the Wrestling in the Middle Championship against Okada.
You did not put out a poll, did you?
No, that's this week. Last week we couldn't put out a poll because he was the only choice. You saw his Rumble performance.
Yes.
We picked him. Now, this week's poll is going to be really interesting. saving it to the end of the show to
Okay.
bring it up, but it's
Okay,
really interesting. Shut up, Mike Rome.
That's messed up, man. He's just doing his job.
Shut up, Mike Rome. I don't want to hear it. Well, no, I don't want to hear it because I'm pretty sure you can hear the controller audio in the background too. That's what's really funny.
That's hilarious.
Dude, I can't believe he has no fucking clue that everybody, literally, like if you run all the polls together, look at every analysis, about 85 to 90% of people want Cody Rhodes over The Rock.
Look, I have a feeling he does know. He's just doing the Rock thing and just powering through it.
Gots to. You got to do it for the old ass lady in the crowd that's screaming her head off.
Come on now. It's middle age, not old ass people. I mean, The Rock's still been relevant with his, his wonderful movies that have all done well recently.
I will admit that in such a dark time in the wrestling world, it is really beautiful to see the one thing we can come together on.
That is, even then, like on Twitter, you see a lot of people defending the whole thing, and that's their prerogative. They're
Yeah.
allowed to do that. But like just attacking people's characters because they defend or don't defend it. Even there's darkness even in the light. There's light even in the darkness.
Did you know Okada was the NWA World Champion? I forgot about that.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm beginning to get reality and the game mixed
Yeah,
up.
I love twisting universes. Pat McAfee, the new Raw commentator going forward, to replace Kevin Patrick, who I shouldn't have been fired anyway. He
Look,
shouldn't have even been fired.
I'm gonna say this. I was not as down on Kevin Patrick as other people were,
Yeah.
but let's go.
Yeah, of course. Like, Vince isn't there to stop them from putting Pat McAfee as the new Raw commentator, and I like it. I just don't think that there was any reason to fire Kevin Patrick.
There was not, no.
TNA will pick him up.
Damn.
NWA got him. Hey, Okada's the world champion. CM Punk addresses injury, doesn't want people to feel sorry for him, so don't feel sorry for him.
Look,
Don't.
I have to say, pretty inspirational overall. To me, it was speech from Punk.
Feel sorry for him.
I
I'm
do-
joking.
I'm not gonna feel sorry for him, just because of the way I feel about him. Well, that's not true. I've said it on Twitter already. I feel a little bit sorry for him, just like so close and then just swept.
Look at that champion. Wrestling in the Middle World Champion, one half of the NXT UK Champion.
ROH Legend Roderick Strong.
Yeah, he is also the Intercontinental Champion, but that's another note. Who do you think holds the other half of the NXT UK titles? Let's see. See if you can guess this. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go ahead and learn about the Bloodlines beginnings up here on the DVD screen.
Is it Cole? It should be Cole, right?
It's Adam Cole.
Yeah, I figured.
Hey, there's Rikishi. I wish I did have the video camera on right now so y'all could watch the Bloodline tree beginning with me. Perfect choice for the day. Pick the Rock DVD. And again, I was telling you before the show, like, this is what Wrestling in the Middle is, and this is why I'm enjoying this. No matter what the outcome is, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna enjoy it. If it's The Rock versus Roman Reigns, awesome. If it's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, shout out to every fucking person that did that. WrestleMania Part 2 is imminent. I can feel it.
The Whoa movement.
I feel like that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I feel like with how much people are talking about it, yeah, it's gonna be a movement. I can see it happening, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, at the same time, with The Rock's current position on the board and everything, I don't know, like, it's going to have to be a change of heart on his part, I think.
Oh, fucking twist him up, Roddy. Twist him up.
Get him. This is our future international champion,
Man.
Roderick Strong. But that comes later in the show, but still.
It comes later in a whole other month, and I can't wait for it. But man, it's feeling like forever to get there.
A little bit.
If there's anything I've learned this week, another thing we'll get to later on, you gotta let it play out. Even the longest of the long-term storylines that drag out forever.
At the moment, I'm with agreement with most people, which is that, okay, even if things change and even if they don't, everyone kind of looks kind of stupid right now. Seth looks stupid.
Oh.
Cody looks stupid.
No.
Like, the way they got to it, to this point, is...
Cody Rhodes is the real people's champ. Let me tell you why. I saw a video this morning while I couldn't sleep. I saw a video this morning of him at a live event in Knoxville where a kid in the crowd said, "I'm legally blind, but I came to see Cody Rhodes," and he literally dropped everything and went to go see them face to face.
See, that's
it's a people's champ.
That's why Cody deserved this so much. It's so... I hate it. I hate that we're in this position.
And I love how much people are talking about it. Maybe that's why they did it. Hey, a little reverse psychology there.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me is like, this whole story, even like the whole... Okay, this is conspiracy theory. Down to the torn pec thing, all the way till now, has all been played up.
Yeah.
Just to make Cody even more... people sympathize more with Cody.
And also to brush all the talk and the heat off the Vince McMahon situation. Like, everybody stopped talking about that immediately when they found out The Rock is replacing Cody Rhodes. They said, okay, we have something new to talk about now. I love that the hockey stick was the first go-to weapon, right?
I love that. I cannot wait for 2K24. We're going to be able to throw weapons. Let's go.
I actually... Because this is the kind of person I am. I noticed this within this past week. I'm really the kind of person that enjoys the surprise of the new game. Because when you were tweeting about a lot of the stuff earlier this week, I had to, and I'll turn them back on, I promise, but I had to turn my notifications off for you because I kind of felt like, oh, I don't want this spoiled for me yet. I want that feeling of when I put the game in, getting it all immersed.
I get that, but since I have so little money, I had to cancel a pre-order of a game I wanted, this month. Mm-hmm. And I'm still not going to get 2K24 at launch.
No.
I can't get either now.
We got to make it happen.
No, but, I'm the kind of person that I like to know a little bit about, depending on the game, too.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another day. But with 2K24, with the wrestling games, I want to know what I'm getting into.
Yeah. Everybody has a preference, too. That's why it makes it okay. I just noticed this week, that was my preference. I was like, no, I don't want this spoiled yet. I want to find out. Because once I get that game, it's 12 hours out the day is going to be gone. I'm going to be immersed in every aspect of it.
From what we know already, and the main thing I want to know is, who's on the roster, mainly the NXT roster. And the Legends roster, because we all know who's going to be, you're going to have your Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't know Roman Reigns was going to be in the game. That's awesome. Well, I just thought they put the active roster on there.
I love that.
He'll be in the Legends column. He's already in the Legends column. Oh, my gosh.
Double knee lung blower. It's not a lung blower. What is it? I gotta look it up again.
We're back on this 2 weeks in a row.
There's so many moves.
Just wait for the end of Heartache.
It's so hard. Stronghold.
Not full Lion Tamer. Tap Okada. He didn't tap. He flipped me over instead. Dude, Okada might actually win the Wrestling in the Middle World Championship.
Let's go.
I always have to point that out to viewers because you can't rule out the possibility that even though I'm playing as somebody, I can lose. It's happened before. The Women's War Games episode, I remember I lost and was like, fuck. I got Charlotte flared. I remember, that was the funniest part of that episode was when I asked Charlotte if she put her fireproof pants on and then put her through the flaming tables.
Apparently she did.
Yeah, she made it. Oh, come on, Roddy. There you go. Nothing like a good reversal.
Hey, while we got some time, let me just tell everyone, stop the what chants.
What?
No, literally, on Raw they were having, actual heartfelt dialogue, and nothing but what.
Hey, Roddy got the win.
I didn't think it would be over this quickly. Or you did say like 10 minutes, so I guess.
Yeah, I knew the amount of time it was. I thought about saving it for the end of the show. I like putting it on at the beginning of the show. It gives a good lead in. Again, I love the title because it's so personal to you and I.
Yes.
To describe it to viewers so they understand why the design is what it is. The physical design itself is the ECW World Title.
Yes.
So that kind of represents like where we came from. Then the centerpiece, of course, is the NXT UK design, simplifying like what we're into now type of deal. And then we have all brands of wrestling across the side plates.
Yes,
Dude, it's awesome.
When you sent it to me the first time, I didn't get back to you on it immediately because I had stuff going on. But I was like, "This is amazing."
I have a career in belt designing somewhere. I just know it.
The sad part is knowing that you're gonna have to remake that here in about 1 or 2 months.
I thought about that too.
The good thing is though, you won't have to wait long because this is something you can make as soon as the game comes out.
Yeah, if I get it pre-ordered. Fun fact, I don't have it pre-ordered.
If neither of us get it pre-ordered, then there's gonna be a problem.
You remember last year? I didn't get 23 until like I think 5 months ago or something like that.
It's not about the pre-orders per se. It's about getting it at launch.
It's about getting the deluxe edition. If you can't get the maximum
that
edition,
too, yeah,
it's not worth it.
Right now I'm considering because the WrestleMania stuff, the one in the highest one, I forgot what it's called already. I'm terrible. Sorry guys.
Wow.
I was considering not getting it because that stuff doesn't come out until after WrestleMania 40. Like the actual arena and all that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I mean, it'd be fine to get like the deluxe edition rather than the ultimate edition.
Good point to make. I'm still gonna go balls to the wall. So back to Raw, because we lead it into Raw, but we were never actually gonna dive into it. You start to feel sorry for CM Punk anyway. He's not WrestleMania bound this year.
Nope.
Drew comes out and says he prayed for CM Punk's injury. He prayed for it, and then he attacks him. And then Sami Zayn comes out afterwards and saves CM Punk because they're friends now.
Apparently.
Or they've been friends, maybe.
I don't know. All I know is Sami Zayn getting a little bit of a push. That's cool.
What if Sami Zayn replaced Finn Balor in the Judgment Day? This is
why
the weirdest question I've
that is probably the weirdest scenario you've put up thus yet.
The Judgment Day becomes Usi again.
Let's go.
Speaking of the Judgment Day, they retain the tag titles, and I got a demand again. Are we unifying them or separating them ever?
See, it was a good match, right?
Yeah, not who I wanted to win one, of course, but
it was a really good match. And if they're going to let people have good matches, maybe that's the first step. But eventually, we do need to pull these apart. There are great tag teams on both sides now. Please.
Dude, speaking of great tag teams, oh my gosh, I forgot the Miz and R-Truth's tag name.
Awesome Truth.
Awesome Truth, thank you. My dementia kicked in immediately. R-Truth gets jumped by the Judgment Day, and Miz tries to help, but he gets jumped too. There's the Awesome Truth for you.
I feel like this is going to lead to them getting the titles at Mania. And I see that people are split.
You think? I could see that too. I never thought of it, and you just pointed it out to me.
That's where I think it's going, yeah. And I've seen a lot of people say the same thing and be split about it. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, Awesome Truth in 2024, really?
I stamp it.
I'm down for it. Like,
I'm on board.
R-Truth is not going to get a singles title, I'm sorry. But he deserves one title, right?
He's won like 87 24/7 7-Eleven titles, so. And
Miz just happens to be along for the ride.
Dude, he's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. Damn, I don't know how I hadn't seen that. That was like an eye opener. That was a glass shattering moment for me.
I can't believe you didn't see it either. That's crazy.
That's a beautiful decision creatively. That might be the one thing they're getting right now. Dude, someone who they tried to bury but can't. Chelsea Green gets her special Samantha Irvin introduction back.
Chelsea Green!
Oh, you fucking botched that.
I did.
I'm keeping it.
I knew you would.
That's a botch. That's botch mania.
Green! I can't do it, apparently. Chelsea. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
Also, we get our first WrestleMania so many days graphic signifying we're officially on the road to WrestleMania.
We're on the road to WrestleMania.
It just always has like a different feel to it.
It
Once you
does.
get past that Rumble, it's like a whole new world and a whole new season. Cody Rhodes comes out to a raucous crowd in Tampa, gets emo with all of us Cody heads. Us roadies, as I'm now coining it.
Roadies, let's go.
We're roadies. That's what I'm coining it now. Seth Rollins comes out to interrupt, demands that Cody challenge him instead. And this is what changes like the whole fucking annals of time history-wise.
This is where people were starting to be like, okay, what?
What? Okay, so he demands that Cody challenge him now as he is the man with the world title of actual value. Speaks beautifully and makes a hell of a case too. Like,
He
give him his
does.
credit.
He does make a good case, but then there's something about the Hulk Hogan title, the Hollywood title, that kind of makes it like, oh.
I mean, too, I don't want to be in the belief that the World Heavyweight title isn't a world title. I don't think that it's that for me at all. I know there's some people that still see it as like a secondary title, but for me, it's not that. It's just the WWE title is the exact definition of what Cody is seeking.
Yes.
A lot of people are, arguing like this. The end of the story is Cody just has to win the title, right? It doesn't say what, but like no, it does. It does.
It's the title that they handed. He says it on SmackDown.
Yes.
The title they handed to Dusty and then promptly took away. That's what it is.
That's what it is. You know what it is if you heard Cody. Andrade signs to Raw.
Very good pickup, although
Shout out to Adam Pearce.
I love that and they're going to do this again on SmackDown, actual feuding between the GMs, like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we're a long ways away from the next Survivor Series, but long-term story building, that's the definition of today's episode is long-term story building. Gunther retains too. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Raw. Do you think we're building for Imperium versus the New Day at WrestleMania and the return of Big E? Because that's where I'm seeing this going now.
Okay, there's the thing, right? If you do that, then what? We don't have Gunther defend at WrestleMania?
Yeah, well.
I think it would be cool if, like, Big E returns and faces Gunther at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I don't know if I exactly trust that, but I just...
Dude, the most WWS thing I could think to do, and this won't happen, this isn't a prediction, but this is just like fantasy booking in WWE format. Gunther will have the first ever Intercontinental Open Challenge he's ever held on the kickoff show, and he's gonna like roll over fucking Tozawa. I'm sorry, Tozawa, I love you. He's gonna roll over Tozawa, and then he's gonna be like, nobody can face me, nobody can beat me. Big E comes in, beats him for the IC title, wrap it up on the kickoff show.
On the kickoff show, damn.
WWE booking for you.
Yeah, I mean, possibly that could happen. It also seems like they're building Bronson Reed. Like, is Bronson the one that takes it? I mean, they still have a little bit of beef. Obviously, you still do Chad. Like, there's a lot of people on that roster that I feel like you could definitely make cases for.
We could just drop it to The Rock. To the honky tonk man. Both of these men are on my TV screen right now.
Damn.
Alright. So now it's your time to shine. It's NXT time.
Guys, I'm about to go through NXT the fastest I've ever gone through it. Ready?
Oh, this should be fun. Take a coffee sip.
Alright, so moving on to AEW. No, I'm just kidding. So
we know Trick Mello did something.
So it started out, and I cannot remember the first match. I believe it was the Dusty Rhodes Classic match.
Yeah.
Predictable outcome. Trick and Mello win. They're in the finals. They're facing Braun and Corbin. It was a really good match, though. LWO, ever since going back down to NXT, have been on fire, especially Joaquin.
Yeah.
Every week, Joaquin's pulling out something crazy, and I love it. Then Femi attacks. Oba Femi attacks afterwards.
Yeah.
So he takes out both members of LWO and Dragon Lee.
Yeah, Dragon Lee came out. That didn't work well for him.
Yeah, so they're gonna have that match at
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day, yeah. I was
Yeah.
about to say Judgment Day.
Vengeance Day is tonight for us, of course, because we record
Yes.
Sunday morning. But by the time this airs, you'll have watched Vengeance Day. Hoping to get you to live tweet on the show's
I'm going to
Twitter.
try my best, but I have a hard time, especially with shows I'm really into.
Yeah.
But I will try my best. Speaking of trying her best, Tatum is trying her best to get Lyra to... I still don't know if this is like she's trying to get her to love her, just trying to get her to acknowledge her, something, but like...
She wants to have a blood pact with her.
Something like that. Tatum slowly getting better. If you haven't seen her finisher before, you need to go look that up. It's a really cool finisher. She like grabs them and like does a full flip with them, and
Yeah, I have. I was in a conversation about it a couple weeks ago. It was underrated finishers.
it's a really good finisher.
Yeah.
But I'm curious where this goes actually, because at this point, it seems like the predictable outcome is Tatum ends up turning on Lyra, right?
Right.
But the way Tatum's character is built right now, it doesn't seem like that. We'll see.
We'll see.
Speaking of we'll see, Joe and man who should not be named
I love that.
have a kind of recurring thing throughout the night where they're feuding. First, Joe shows up to his little compound, and like Joe's just being Joe, sitting there like tapping the light, messing with his notes, messing with his tape recorder. He tapped the tape recorder and it played a recording he had done earlier. He had gotten in there earlier, apparently. So eventually throughout the night, they brawl, and it leads to them setting up a match for, I almost said Judgment Day again, Vengeance Day.
You want to go to Judgment Day.
Maybe. A no disqualification match, which man who should not be named happens to be really good at those.
I'm really enjoying this idea that we don't name him on the show. It's making this really fun.
But my favorite quote is, Joe's in a dumpster, and Ava is yelling at man who should not be named, and he's like, I want a disqualification match. No disqualification match. And Joe's just like, hey, wait a second, pops out of the dumpster. No disqualification, I'm in, and then falls over back into the dumpster. I'm loving what they're doing with Joe right now. He's just so random. I guess I love random humor.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you would be a huge Sami Callihan fan.
I guess I would.
You would.
I think Lexus King is the next Corbin. I think he's going to end up being...
As in nobody's going to like him?
Yep, nobody's going to like him, but he's going to be prominent for a while. I don't know what the end game is with Ridge. They have
Oh my gosh.
All three members of Gallus beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
No one helped him.
The opening sentence of that is the exact nature of what I would have said. Like, I didn't know that would even make the notes.
I'm curious where it goes.
Yeah.
Poor Jensen. Like, he's trying to get to hang out with Fallon. Fallon's like, I got Ren now. Fuck you. Briggs is being an asshole now, which is good. I love that. But now Jensen's on his own. What's going to happen with him? Who knows? Fallon and Ren, they look like... I think they're going to become NXT tag team. Or I think they will move up and become part of the women's tag team division. Because they both have the women's tag title tenures, I guess you would say, in their former places. Ariana Grace looked pretty good. I think she's actually got the business down, which, if her father is Santino Marella, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Vic and Booker, I want to see them fight.
Really?
They went at it. They almost, I almost thought they were going to go to blows with how much they were talking shit to each other. My final note here
Oh, I like this.
is Noam Dar underrated.
Always has been. I could have told you that one.
Like he had a pretty good match with Von Wagner, and just like something tells me like you could put him on the main roster now and he'd fit right in.
Fit right on.
Right on.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, now we're on to AEW.
When you were doing those end part of the notes, I was sitting here drawing a teacup and a teapot, pouring tea into it next to NXT time. I fucked the teapot up royally. The teacup was nice, but the teapot, oh my gosh.
So, did I do terribly?
No, you did phenomenally. AJ Styles would be proud.
Let's go.
So now we're over to AEW, and that makes me happy because I'm only a couple weeks away from being at AEW live. And
On Valentine's Day.
oh yeah, what a date night that is. Also, shout out Owen Hart on the DVD screen. And I don't know if you caught this earlier. I was trying so hard not to laugh too hard because for a long time the DVD was skipping.
Yeah, it was
skipping.
It was really
hard.
bad.
And I was sitting here laughing my ass off at the freeze frames we were getting. Oh my gosh. Dude, shout out to The Rock. This whole episode is based around him for no reason. He just...
Apparently.
Well, what happened was he kind of just lobbied his way into our office this morning and was like, hey, this whole show is going to be about me and you're going to put me over at the end of it.
I guess I should have mentioned Ava more. My bad, Rocky.
I'm supposed to be getting ready to inaugurate him as the next world champion. So, he's not on Dynamite, thankfully. He can't show up there. The show opens with Moxley and Jeff Hardy, and that's pretty nostalgic in of itself.
It is.
Mox chokes him out, and Jeff Hardy shows poor sportsmanship again.
Jeff Hardy no bueno.
Could we be getting a heel turn coming along the way for Jeff Hardy?
I think Jeffrey Hardy will end up becoming a heel.
Jeffrey Moore Hardy. The CMLL Luchas jump Moxley while BCC is away, and that's a common theme, I noticed. But it gets saved by the AEW locker room.
It's my favorite invasion angle.
Yeah, it's a very ECW type angle, and I love that. ECW had the same kind of angles a lot of times where they'd bring locker room situations into the public eye, or they would just have random bits like that where it's like anybody will save anybody. Anybody will hurt anybody.
Let's go.
Hangman wins his dealer's choice match against Toa Leona. Almost forgot his name. And then ROH Legend Roderick Strong loans Adam Cole his wheelchair. that was probably my favorite part of the whole episode. We get Adam Cole on commentary for Wardlow versus Commander.
Yeah. It was very Wardlow. Apparently, poor Wardlow kind of might have blown out his knee.
Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't get a confirmation on it, though.
What I gotta say about Wardlow, that he has a fetish with being screwed over.
I don't think he's choosing it.
Does he? Then why does he keep aligning himself with people that he knows is going to screw over him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't expecting anything out of Fletcher and Jericho, but it was a solid match.
It
took me by surprise.
Yeah, it was a solid match. I mean,
I had no expectations, that's why.
I remember the first time I saw Fletcher was in Progress Wrestling as a singles wrestler. That's the first time I had seen him. He was part of like a sort of tournament type thing to go for the... What was it called? I can't remember the name of the championship, but it was one of they have a lot of like lower championships. Really solid there, really solid here.
Whenever I get to get Demand Progress on demand or whatever their service is called, yes. I'll go back and watch it. But it was so funny running the polls for what I should start with. Everybody chose the one I already had. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just let the subscription renew. And it was New Japan World for those wondering. So I've been watching a little bit of New Japan already, but I haven't gotten a full Wrestle Binge report. I wanted to watch the Lone Star pay-per-view from this past November because I was there live. I wanted to see it. But Bang Bang Scissor Gang get the crowd hyped up and bring out Rock Hard Juice Board. Literally just got them hyped up and then left.
It was a clusterfuck, is what I have written in my notes, and that is rightly appropriate.
Oh my gosh. They were just on like 10, went to 11, and then dipped.
That's what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah, just get the crowd some energy. AEW continues to give Deonna Purrazzo a great showing since signing her.
Yeah, and Luther looked like he was gonna pick at her. I don't know what Luther was doing.
Luther, watch yourself. That's a virtuosa.
He was just like, No. If we had a camera, this would make sense.
You always do stuff that you forget there's nobody watching.
Yes.
One day, you'll get your camera angles right. Can see the Bucks costing Darby and Sting the tag titles this week rather than Sting and Darby winning them.
I didn't even consider that, and I kind of feel bad for not. I'm sorry, Nicholas and Matthew.
Yeah, just be careful. We don't want to get fired. We're actually on the payroll. Unbeknownst to everybody, this is a low-key AEW operation that just seems...
I just remembered a note I forgot. Why did Swerve not choose Brian Cage to face Paige?
I mean, that's fair. But you got to give Toa Leona a little bit of exposure.
Yeah, but Cage would do more damage.
And
I'm
also,
sorry.
I'm gonna say this from just the fan perspective now. I'm tired of watching Brian Cage. I don't want to see Brian Cage right now. I don't.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to see some new, fresh faces. Hella fun main event is Swerve Dealer's Choice match ends up being a hardcore match against RVD.
I love the subtlety of how they teased it too.
Yeah.
Very subtle, one of a kind subtlety even.
It was like everybody knew, and I didn't understand people trying to grasp at straws and be like, "Oh, it's actually Okada." What? Who?
What? Who? Like they mentioned the whole 420 stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe it's Riddle somehow. But no,
I heard that too, and I would have halfway taken it, but thank God it wasn't.
Then they started making actual RVD references, and I was like,
yeah, it was always RVD, and the match was a treat. Swerve continues to get
Really
put over
good.
big time, week after week after week after week. This match is a personal favorite of mine now, though, for sure. Just for the nature of how it happened, what it was, how good it was. Swerve and Hangman get heated, and it culminates to a third and final match. Swerve needs to win this match, and I think I'm not alone in this opinion.
he does, but at the same time, like, this is getting into Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins territory, where it's like, okay, we've had 3 matches and you've lost all 3. Like, what's the point?
What's the deal? Oh, how did I get that over in 2 different seasons? That's awesome. Rampage giving off fun AEW dark vibes this week.
It did, yeah.
Aiding in that was the Private Party versus Top Flight opening tag match. It was entertaining. The fucking crown spot was specifically what
hilarious. I love that.
A lot of people are wondering what direction AEW or ROH will go with these hot young teams. Putting on good matches every fucking week.
Yes.
I think both Private Party and Top Flight are fan favorite teams without titles right now.
Yeah, it seems like it.
They need some belts.
Eventually.
At least they're not in a company where both tag titles are held by one team only.
Damn. That's sad, but true, yes.
Unhealthy for team mentality. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett been growing apart for weeks, and oddly it seems they may just be readjusting and staying together rather than...
It does, and my thing here is...
Please no.
Why did we waste all this time then?
We're using TV time. Rampage is only an hour. I think that comes up somewhere else too, but I don't...
We need more time for Stooley.
We need more time. We need more time for Danhausen specifically. The reason it's a no, and what the fuck am I writing? Okay, we're still on Jay Lethal. I was like, who the fuck wrote these notes? Like there's anybody else that could write them but me. I wish. The reason it's a note though is because I'm bored no matter how it plays out. That's what I was saying. Kind of just want to watch Jay Lethal wrestle and continue about my day.
Yeah, my whole hope for this was Jay Lethal was going to break apart and just wrestle. But no.
Oh my gosh, Random Rampage Part 2. I'm more laughing at the fact that like I read the note and was like, whose note is this? I didn't write that shit. Another storyline I'm bored with too, AEW wise, is the Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Stokely Hathaway angle.
Okay, listen, I guess this is where we're going to probably differ.
Okay.
This is the first week where I was like, all right, this is entertaining.
Interesting. I'm trying to let stuff play out, but this is all, like I said, just taking up TV time.
I don't see it going anywhere, but I was entertained.
That-
I like the idea of, like, Stokely, like... I just like them, like... Especially when they try to make him smile.
Yeah.
Like, that was funny. That was...
Get him to do the wave. I'm trying. Again, I'm trying to let it play out, but
like,
taking
if
up
anything,
TV time.
it's
That's where the TV time note was at, too.
See, the thing about it is, and maybe this is... At this point, I've accepted... Rampage is not really a show. Rampage is just there.
There's
for
some
me.
weeks where I can argue that, though. There's some weeks where I'm like, yo, that's a wrestling program.
Like, you have pretty good matches that between people that wouldn't normally get TV time.
Yeah.
And then you have random romance angles with Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho.
Dude, Renee working overtime with many funny backstage angles
Yes.
on Rampage. The Best Friends and the Undisputed Kingdom, and then again, like you said, Will and Statlander and the remnants of the Outcast. The remnants of them. Shout out to Renee.
Burn Baby. Renee, probably.
Shout out to Renee. I've always been fond of Renee.
Packwit.
Random Rampage. And maybe it's better to just bring back AEW Dark instead.
Maybe.
At the same time, with how much they put into making Rampage, I feel like it'll be a while before they take it off of television.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Or maybe they just revamp it completely. I'm not giving up on Rampage. I refuse. So, now we're back to the feds.
Oh, no.
Kevin Owens makes it known he's wanting to obtain the vacant U.S. title.
Yeah. And you know what else? He also makes known?
Hmm.
Cody's dog looks better than Logan Paul.
I will agree. Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, win #1 contender tag team 4-way. Don't see it going any further, but all the way rooting for them.
This is the sad part, right? They're gonna get this momentum and then it's gonna get pulled out from under them.
Where are we going? It's again, I don't see it going any further than them being #1 contenders, but let's just appreciate the fact that they won the #1 contender 4-way. It's like you got to take the wins where you can get them sometimes. I learned this with Evan Bourne specifically.
Yes.
Should have been a world heavyweight champion. That's a controversial opinion, I guess. Doesn't have to be. I gotta say, I was complaining about how long the damage control thing was dragging out, even with predicting that Bayley winning the Royal Rumble.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it felt tired, but now that we're closer to the payoff, I'll admit that it's hitting the spot just right.
It is. I think the way they did that, at the time it felt long, but at this moment it feels like everything worked out perfectly.
I complained about it so much. I was like, dude, this is so tired, and I'm so bored of it. And again, I knew Bayley was winning the Rumble, and we'd get to Io Sky versus Bayley. Now that it's actually happening, I'm like, let's go. This is fun. This is interesting and entertaining, and
Bayley's so good at acting.
I'm going to lay it out here. This is fucking insane to do when you're talking about Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns or The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
I already know what you're going to say. It's not going to happen.
Let's just do it anyway. Bayley versus Io Sky, main event of WrestleMania. Let's do it. Let's run it up.
Here's the thing, and this is the mini argument that I'm not going to spend too much time on.
Okay.
Royal Rumble, the winner gets a main event in WrestleMania, but now they don't.
It stopped years ago.
But they still say it.
Yeah.
They still say it. So like,
What makes that opinion even more frustrating is the fact that like they will say 3 different matches were the main event of a WrestleMania. It's like, well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but traditionally that last match, night 2, now that we have 2 nights, that is your main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just stupid.
Last year, again, as good as Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes was, and as much as the decision should have been changed to Cody Rhodes winning that match, the main event of night 1, the tag title match, I will hold that as the main event. That was amazing.
That's fair.
And I hate tag team wrestling. I don't hate it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea.
So Cody says he's coming for Roman Reigns, but not at WrestleMania, because why? The Rock is.
He said, I'm coming for you, but not at WrestleMania, because my good friend The Rock is going to show you what's up.
The Rock paid him a lot of money. We knew The Rock was. It happened, but I'm like, my attitude with right after was, let's move forward. Like, it happened. We knew it would happen. Let's move forward.
See, I wasn't as pissed off as everyone was at first, but then I think it's just I saw everyone else's reaction. I was like, oh, there's a lot of investment here.
I don't particularly love it, but I'm gonna enjoy it nonetheless. Like, I can enjoy it for what it is, and then at the same time, like I was saying earlier, and like I've been saying throughout this whole program, I love just like the unity factor of we're all behind Cody.
We're all together, and just like
Cody.
just like Cody and Rock are together, they're the new Hobbs and Shaw.
I was gonna say Cody Rhodes is the new Daniel Bryan. It's the new Yeselmania, but
Whoa, movement, let's go.
also again, I have to point out that Roman Reigns was in Hobbs and Shaw. So who's the Roman Reigns in this situation? Roman Reigns still? Probably not.
No.
It kind of crumbles.
You did not mention, and now I have to.
Mention it. Mention everything.
Tiffany Stratton smacked the shit out of Michin. Like,
I didn't mention it. You're right.
that was a hard hit. There was no need to go that hard with that smack. Like, an open palm, too. Like, she didn't just slap her. It was whole open palm.
Smacked the crap out of her.
She put that Tiffy in that.
Saturday night, on the weekend now, and this was a weird week too, right? Because we always start with Collision, but now we don't. Now we start with Raw and end with Collision, show wise anyway. It's not the last of this show, but no backstage opening segment, straight intro music this time. Did we start doing that before? Because I felt like that was fresh this time, like that.
It varies. Sometimes we have the cold open, sometimes we don't.
I need that
so
open.
Weird.
I just need the Eddie Kingston open every time.
That's fair. Banger of a match.
We get Eddie Kingston versus Brian Keith in a hard hitter as expected.
Except Brian Keith slaps like a bitch. He needs to put that Tiffy in it. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Go ahead.
I'll see him in a couple weeks and tell him.
Let's go.
Eddie wins, but Brian Keith gets made officially all elite. It's a big deal.
It seemed like very, like, he didn't know either. Like, very genuine moment. Beautiful.
Yeah. You gotta get a genuine reaction sometimes. Dude. Okay, I gotta make sure I say it right. And if you can say it right, please do, because
Hechicero?
that's what I've said 3 times, and you know me, my tongue doesn't roll that way anymore. It's fucking me up. I'm glad you said it.
Hechicero, very good. Like, I was impressed.
I just said wrestling. That's it. Pro wrestling.
I love technical wrestling. I was a big fan of A-Kid in NXT UK.
Yeah.
So, like, all the amount of actual technical wrestlers on the show for that Collision, I was living.
It was, yeah. We'll get into more of it, too, in some of these other notes, but that's the great point to make is how technical of a show it was. And this, a big note here, major note, FTR Sia was listening to the show last week. Shout out to FTR Sia. They heard me come up with their trio's name. Shout out to Dax, shout out to Cass, shout out to DG, shout out all of FTR Sia. We love you guys.
Let's go. We love you guys. Especially Daniel, though.
Hook shows up and fights the Outrunners.
All alone.
All alone.
And it didn't matter because he beat the ever-loving shit out of him.
Yeah, fights the Outrunners. I've never been too fond of the Outrunners. Seen them live many a time, too.
Damn.
Just not a big fan of theirs. It's not my cup of tea. Nigel compares Mark Briscoe to diarrhea.
I was going to put that in there, but I didn't.
He shouldn't have put that in there. Fucking disrespectful piece of junk. I love him, though. He's one of the most entertaining commentators of all time. And I cannot wait to see Danielson, Nigel McGuinness at All In.
I cannot wait to see Nigel McGuinness take on Crybaby Danielson.
Now, Technical Wizard, Serena Deeb wins a good one over Queen Aminata.
Yes. My God. What surprised me, because I didn't get to watch Collision last week, was how much the crowd was in on her.
Yeah.
Like, she's a face now? Is that what I'm getting?
That's what I'm getting.
I'm fully behind that. I want to see Serena Deeb win that title.
Me too. Which Red Velvet picks up a win and says she's coming for all the gold, so you got to watch out for Red Velvet.
This women's division is looking hot.
And I've been on Red Velvet. At one point, which, again, this isn't a disrespectful statement, it's just an acknowledgement of her position in the card. I've said she's one of my favorite mid-card talents on AEW. Her and Marina Shafir both. And I hope to see her advance past that. I
I
love
would
what
love-
Red Velvet is cooking. Man. Dude, and who cares about Cody or The Rock right now? Let's talk about why we need Swerve to be world champion.
Because top rope, catch up vibe.
Exactly. FTR Garcia laid down another banger trios match, and it would appear Daniel Garcia has entered the TNT title picture now.
I stamp this 100%. Daniel Garcia needs to dethrone Christian. I'm sorry, Copeland. You can have your little story with Christian without the title. Garcia needs that title.
Dude, I'm still rooting for Adam Copeland. He said, "Who's that?" I said, "It's Edge." Can you tell I watched the season 1 finale too many times?
A little bit.
I can only quote us over and over. Dude, it's because we're funny sometimes.
We are pretty funny.
Now, we watched Roddy's match earlier. Let's talk about his next opponent. I've come up with a great poll this week that everybody's going to vote on.
I'm scared.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm scared.
Okay. I'm going to leave it between 3 options here. Actually, I'm gonna put down 3 options. You give me a 4th.
Okay.
You give me a 4th.
R-Truth.
Okay. Lock it in. Since you said that, I feel like he's going to win now.
Let's go.
I'm like, damn.
Let's
Same time.
go.
I want to make, just for the sake of what this week has been, I want to make the poll The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and then I wanted to throw Adam Cole in there too. The R-Truth thing definitely makes it a little bit more of a fun thing. I think I want to take Adam Cole out and keep R-Truth and just leave it at that, because that would really... I feel like that would just give people like a good kick. Like, okay, you want to vote for Cody as hard as you do? What about R-Truth in the picture?
I feel like that's the perfect way to go.
Yeah. If I come up with a 4th option, it'll probably be someone well established, like a Gunther or a Tozawa. I disrespected him earlier. I had to put some respect back on his name.
That's fair. It's balance. It's all about balance and moderation, guys.
Yeah, okay, Roddy's next opponent's going to be one of those men.
Let's go.
One of those men. Also, this week, coming out with our first interview. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it was definitely a different experience.
It was a fun experience.
Yeah, for sure. Really enjoyed the person we interviewed.
Calix Fuse. He's like, you can name drop him.
Oh,
Don't be scared.
Calix Fuse, really a genuine guy. You know, he looks like he's passionate about the business. He's looking to go places, so...
He's got some experience too. I loved hanging out with him. Loved talking to him. Can't wait for everybody to see the interview. Then get a good look at what we got going on. Because after that, the week after that, I'm interviewing Just Incredible. I'm nervous.
That's just incredible.
I'm nervous.
You're fine.
I got some decent questions to ask him too. But y'all won't hear those questions until that time comes.
Nope.
Is there anything you want to end on?
Yes.
There's nothing you got to talk about today.
We actually hit all the notes, but I just wanted you guys... We need to get this... You guys are good at petitioning stuff. Bryan Danielson versus Brian Keith versus Brian Cage. It's gotta happen. I want some Brianception.